everyone, welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway for your Scraplift Saturday video. I am Sara Scraps. I'm a teensy bit late today because I had to run some errands this morning that I wasn't maybe planning on. So my video for you today is a Scraplift of Jennifer Gallagher, and you can see the photograph for this at the beginning of my video. Jennifer was super nice enough to actually send me a better photo of her layout so that I had a nice photo to share with all of you for the video. I am going to be using Maggie Holmes' Carousel collection for my layout today because I felt like it went really, really well with the colors and the mood of the mood board this month. If you haven't seen our mood board this month, be sure to head over either to the Facebook group or to the blog, and you can see the mood board there. So I am going to vary very little my layout from Jennifer's. I started with that beautiful big doily, and I matted my white cardstock onto some craft cardstock, and this is a Cotton Candy Shimmers Spritz. And I've broken the nozzle on it, so I'm just going to add some splatters in the same places. On Jennifer's layout, it was yellow, but I'm using pink. And I'm going to set it aside to dry and continue to work on my layout. So for the blocks that were on Jennifer's layout, I'm trying to do some math here in my head because I want to make sure I can space these evenly out. And I think what I end up with is 2.5 by 4.5. I think that was the final dimensions of these little squares that I used. And then I'm going to go ahead and map my photos. So this layout is a layout that I do every year. Every year when you go through my family album, you will find a layout with the first flowers that bloom in our yard, and the layout will be titled Hello Spring. And we do this layout, I do this layout every year without fail. Flowers are often different. I pick different flowers from my yard and from my garden, the first ones that come up. And sometimes I get the irises, but this time I did the daffodils, and my son took this photo of these fun little purple flowers, and I decided to use those two photos. And so that's going to be my layout. Another way that I deviated from Jen's layout is that her little squares were like only two sides were corner rounded and one side was normal straight. And when I was creating this layout, I didn't create this layout with her layout in front of me. So I really didn't notice that detail of it. And so when I did it, I just corner rounded all four corners, which I still like, and I still think this layout's awesome. So I'm just inking everything. I only ink these pieces on camera, but as I go through my layout, all of them, it's all inked with Hickory Smoke Distress ink, just because I like the look of an inked edge. So I'm going to choose in what order I want these to go. So I feel like the black and white pattern and also the marbled pattern are very kind of like the boulder, so I don't want to put them beside each other. I'm going to go ahead and choose where I want everything to go, or get an idea of where all the different pieces are going to go before I bring in my piece of white cardstock. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and place my 4 squares down, and then on Jen's layout, she had a piece that was like a border punch with a notebook edge, and I loved that. Jen Gallagher's layouts always inspire me because she adds these details to her layouts that maybe you're not expecting, or that maybe you don't notice right away. Like, her layouts are so detailed. She has such an eye for detail. And when I choose a layout to Scraplift, I generally want to Scraplift a layout that not only inspires me, but that let me give you an example. I want my layouts to be very detailed. I love the idea of little bits and pieces added. I love little details, and I like scrapbookers who really pay attention to those details. And it's something that I feel like I really need to work on in my own scrapbooking. So things like this punched edge, and there'll be a couple other things, or things like the white doily with the white on white look. Those are the kinds of details that I want to incorporate more in my own scrapbooking. So a great way that I find is when I'm given an opportunity like this to scraplift a layout of my choosing, I want to choose someone who is really good at those details, so that by scraplifting them, I can get a feel for how to do it on my layouts, future layouts to come. I am always trying to learn. I'm always trying to make what I do better. And I love, love, love layouts that are nicely detailed and well compositioned, have very nice classic lines, and are well composed. And I think that Jennifer Gallagher is an amazing person for that. So I have my photo, and I added the photo corner. See, like just those photo corners, they just add, that little detail adds so much to your layout. And then I'm going to add some washi tape and my second photo, and I'm going to continue to work down through each of these blocks and kind of treat them like almost like a mini layout, but not quite, or so that they each kind of have their own pop of something different and unique, so your eye can travel down them while simultaneously all working together. So this is my second photo, and I'm going to place some washi tape behind the photo and in front of the photo. This is also some Maggie Holmes washi tape. I have a thin gold one and a rose gold one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tear this washi tape in half, get the size right that I want, and then I'm going to tear it in half so it's just a little bit thinner. I didn't want quite such a wide piece of washi, but I did want the two together, and I wanted the one to be right there by the one over the photo, and then one that goes all the way under the photo. And so my last little bit down here is going to be, I'm going to tuck a cluster of flowers in, and then for the bottom, I am going to use one of those ribbon die cut pieces because I love them. And they were in the Maggie Holmes Carousel collection, and also because they were on Jen's layout. And it was one of those things that, like I said, I didn't do this layout with her layout in front of me. But I did pick up on the parts of her layout that I really, really liked. I loved the composition. I loved the addition of the little border piece. I loved that she used a ribbon at the bottom of her layout too. And so I'm just going to adhere my title down here. It's going to be, like I said, Hello Spring. And then I'm going to get to work on the butterflies. You probably saw the butterflies that were in the layout at the beginning. And I only have one butterfly punch. It's not very big. So what I decided to do was I added more butterflies to my layout than on the original. And for the butterflies, what I did was I punched 2 butterflies, and then I put a pop dot in between them to give them a little bit more dimension. And so that's what you're going to see me doing here. I ended up putting 3 at the top there because they were smaller, and because by adding 3 it allowed me to pull my 3 main colors that I had used on the right side and pull them up into the left, and to balance them out a little bit. And the next thing I'm going to work on is my journaling. So I printed my journaling out on my computer using a font that I really liked, and I'm going to cut my journaling into strips. For my journaling, I chose to print out a quote from one of my favorite books, which is The Secret Garden. I thought that that would be appropriate. It gave a little bit of just fun to the layout. And then I also put the month and the year because, I mean, I don't need to tell you it's spring. Hey. I didn't have anything, huge to write about. And I just decided that that would be a really nice kind of element to add to the page. So that's what I did. I'm going to ink the edges with the Hickory Smoke Distress ink, and then I'll adhere all the journaling strips down. The last little touch to this layout will be, quite simply, a sprinkling of enamel dots And that's it. I just add a couple. I kind of thought about if I wanted them a third place, but I didn't. I just liked them there. So that will complete my scrap lift for today. Here are some lovely close-ups for you to check out. And be sure to swing by over to the blog. You can take a look at some more photos there as well. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, and I will see you all again in a couple weeks. Bye!